This is Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. It's May 24th, 2018. You're listening to the intro by The Barbarians.
Mr. Green.
I'm found to be the nicest. On the mic it with rhyme right in my mind states God cipher divine righteous. This is the sound of refinement. Extra time spent on every line written. You can hear the difference when I'm rhyming. The barbarian rap writings like Clash of the Titans. I wield the pen like Poseidon holding the golden triton. On the mic I strike faster than vipers and flashes of bolts of lightning. My poetry will leave the Pope enlightened. Whack rappers is past time. You paid the Pied Piper as the price just skyrocket. I stand to make a profit. I rap circles and spirals above your favorite artist like an identifiable flying object with balls so far over your head. I'm honest to be rhyming in high orbit. If I dumb the metaphors down, you think the sky was falling. Rappers' arms too short to shadow box with the lords in the pantheon of rap. I'm the high exalted, the new God flow. Prepare your offering. I treat the booth like the synagogue, cause the mic's my calling. I should congregate a following, although agnostic. You felt the flow was God sent, further personifying my Messiah complex. I'm a wordsmith, the Wizard of Oz over percussion, throwing up sick bars. My flow fucking disgusting. Cutting edge caliber, higher purpose and vision. We write our own rhymes, you buying verses that's written. Mixed martial bars that'll beat you into submission. Lethal like a steel desert eagle with precision. Switch the elements, I'm the alchemist when I'm mixing metals. Accelerate on these devils, we reaching different levels in my own zone in this game. Like I play alone, breaking bones like a giant in the Game of Thrones. I hire breathe like a dragon when he fire breathe. I'm never separated from the mic, it's like we Siamese. Ultramagnetic MCs spit it magnificent. So deliberate with the sickest shit, it's ridiculous. Patterned after the greatest to ever do it, the legends. Destined to manifest on this earth, what's up in heaven. And 24/7, this presentation is feature worthy. Got so much class, I study, I'm never leaving early. Every song sensational, heavy rotational. Snakes will try to copy this style, but they not capable. Overcame problems, could damage a man's confidence. And now we making music that travels across continents. You could call me Mars with these bars, I'm like the god of war. A battle rap cannibalistic beast, a carnivore.
That was Don Banks and Vivid Scientific, The Barbarians, straight out of Denver, Colorado. Real lyricism going on right there. They are the official music of Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. Again, it is May 24th, 2018. It's Thursday night. We're getting towards the end of the week. There's been a lot of controversy over the last 24 to 36 hours concerning this new NFL Anthem policy. Trust me, we are going to get into it. You guys kind of know where I stand on it. Some of you might stop listening to me after this show. Some of you might, go ahead and share this show out so you can get the message out. You can get the word out. You can get more people listening and awake to what's going on. We're also going to talk, of course, NHL Finals. Are you kidding me? The Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Washington Capitals get over themselves. They get over choking in the playoffs and come out of the East to make it into the finals against the expansion Vegas Knights. We're going to get into that a little bit because, as you guys know, I am a casual fan of the NHL and I will not profess to be an expert. We are also going to talk the NBA playoffs or the snooze-offs. I don't know what's going on. We'll get into that too. But we're going to start off the show with this Anthem protest. And I want to start the show off with a sound bite from Dale Hansen of WFAA in Dallas. This is from his Unplugged sports special that he does down there. He is a sports anchor in Dallas. And I think his stance, his words on this very well sum up a little bit of how I feel about it. And granted, yes, y'all, you know this. I am a white man in America, okay? I grew up with a lot of my friends being African American, black people. Mama Johnson, she was somebody who cares about me to this day and calls me son. Tristan Johnson, to this day, I consider my brother. His family's my family. I grew up white man with black friends. I don't profess to know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to walk into a store with your friends and everybody starts watching. I know what it feels like to be with your friends and have security start following you around. I know what it feels like to have an older sister called the N-word. I know what it feels like to then go get in a fight with those skateboarders and not let my family know that I did that. But I will never profess to know what it feels like to have an entire system against me. In fact, Saturday Night Live, I got to put this out there, because as funny as it was, it's real talk. Saturday Night Live, Michael Che, they did a segment on Weekend Update. Jokes that they didn't tell throughout the season because they're just too offensive. But they were going to tell them anyway. And I know I'm not going to say this joke right, but to sum it up, he basically said that if the police in this country searched as many white men in cargo shorts as they do black men, prisons would look a lot more like Dave Matthews concerts. Now think about that. Yes, that is hilarious. It's funny. I laughed. I cracked up. If I was drinking something, I probably would have spit that out. But think about the truth in those words. The irony. The injustice. All right. Dale Hansen, WFAA in Dallas. I think he sums this up pretty good. Listen to what he has to say.
Said he supports a peaceful protest because it's an American's right, but not this protest, and there's the problem. Any protest you don't agree with is a protest that should be stopped. Martin Luther King should have marched across a different bridge. Young black Americans should have gone to a different college and found a different lunch counter. And college kids in the 60s had no right to protest an immoral war. I served in the military during the Vietnam War, and my foot hurt too. But I've served anyway. My best friend in high school was killed in Vietnam, and Carol Meyer will be 18 years old forever, and he did not die, so that you can decide who is a patriot and who loves America more. The young black athletes are not disrespecting America or the military by taking a knee during the anthem. They are respecting the best thing about America. It's a dog whistle to the racist among us to say otherwise. They and all of us should protest how black Americans are treated in this country. And if you don't think white privilege is a fact, you don't understand America. The comedian Chris Rock says it best. There's not a white man in America who would trade places with him, and he's rich. It has not gone unnoticed that Trump has spoken out against the Mexicans who want to come to America for a better life, against the Muslims, and now against the black athlete. But he says nothing for days about the white men who marched under a Nazi flag in Charlottesville, except to remind us there were good people there. And when he finally tried to say the right thing, not one of them was called an SOB or should be fired. We have white men in America who wave the Nazi flag and the Confederate flag, and he's concerned about taking a knee because it disrespects this flag. We use that flag to sell mattresses and beer. We wear it as a swimsuit. We wrap our bald heads in a flag bandana and stick it in our pants because we disrespect that flag every day. Maybe we all need to read the Constitution again. There has never been a better use of pen to paper. Our forefathers made freedom of speech the First Amendment. They listed 10, and not one of them says you have to stand during the anthem. And I think those men respected the country they fought for and founded a great deal more than the self-proclaimed patriots who are simply hypocrites because they want to deny the basic freedom of this great country, a country they supposedly value and cherish so much.
So let me remind you, the person that you just heard speaking was not the President of the United States. He was not one of our senators, was not one of our congressmen. Dale Hansen, yes, he is a vet. He explained to you in that piece that he fought in the Vietnam War, that his best friend in high school died in the Vietnam War. But his words sum this up perfectly. They sum up the actions of the leader of this country, the leaders of this country perfectly. They sum up the NFL's owners' actions. Now I'm going to paraphrase this. This is a tweet that I sent out yesterday after finding out this new policy. And I said, at Commissioner Commish1. Oh, by the way, Dale Hansen, if you want to follow him, WFAA Dallas, Sportscaster, Unplugged, Sports Special, Dale Hansen. Facebook, check him out at wfaa.dale.hansen. And on Twitter, at Dale Hansen. I am now following him on both. I will continue to follow him on both, and I respect him highly. I agree with his words, and I couldn't put it better myself. Before I heard that, everybody, I was ready to come on here and be lit. I was going to get myself in trouble. I was ready to be on this show and say, I know there are people with power out there that could hear this, that could ruin my life. But at some point, right is right and wrong is wrong. I have this platform. It is my podcast. It is my radio show on the internet. It is a sports integrated political, not separative, because we live in the same world issue. We are people. I have this avenue. I have this platform. I am going to use it. And yesterday I tweeted the commission. I said, today you said, and I'm paraphrasing, we want people to be respectful. We want people to stand. That was part of what he said as he talked about this policy, this joke, this farce, this way to scapegoat people and protect your money. I then went on to say, guess what we want? Cops and the justice system to serve and protect, not abuse and intimidate. Compromise in this case was putting money over right and wrong. Period. I know people are going to be out there, well, hey, you know you're racist when you can list off the black people you know. I can't list off all the black people I know. I gave examples of people that I love, of people that love me, that I know this affects. Much different. People that I've known personally for more than 25 years. Okay? Different story. Now, the highlights. Adam Schefter, he tweeted out the highlights, and honestly, I heard about this first from Adam Schefter's tweet. Number 1, all team and NFL personnel should stand for the anthem. Number 2, the league office should revise the game operations manual to remove the requirement that all players be on the field for the anthem, saying you can stay in the locker room. That's going to be your form of protesting. You can just stay away. 3, personnel who choose not to stand for the anthem may stay in the locker room or a similar location until after the anthem has been performed. See, they even wrote it out. 4, a club will be fined if its personnel do not show appropriate respect for a flag and anthem. So that's up to subjugation. You can just decide how you feel about that, and then what? Well, that was disrespectful, but not this. That was disrespectful, but not this. As Dale Hansen said, we have underwear made out of the flag. We have bath towels made out of the flag. We use the flag on cans of beer. We abuse and use it to sell products. And we claim it as patriotism. But the club's going to be fined, not the players. Okay. Number 5. Each team may develop its own work rules regarding its on-field personnel who do not show appropriate respect for the flag and anthem. Now this leads me to believe, as we found out today, there was no formal vote. It could not have been unanimous if at least one team abstained from voting. I mean, that's technically not a no, but it's not a yes, so it's not unanimous. Jed York, I thank you for that. I thank you for saying you needed more information from the players. Jed York is also the owner who had the team that employed Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed, who have been banned for their political views and their peaceful protest against social injustice and police brutality. Sound like the home of the free and the brave yet? It's saddening. NFLPA comes out and gives out their statement. The NFL chose not to consult the union in the development of this new policy. NFL players have shown their patriotism through their social activism, their community service, in support of our military and law enforcement, and yes, through their protests to raise awareness about the issues they care about. The vote by NFL club CEOs today contradicts the statements made to our player leadership by Commissioner Roger Goodell and the chairman of the NFL's Management Council, John Mara, about the principles, values, and patriotism of our league. Our union will review the new policy and challenge any aspect of it that is inconsistent with the collective bargaining agreement. So basically what I'm hearing is the NFL lied. Because I've heard they talked to the players. We saw the little committee they got together during last season and said, okay, we're on the same page. We're seeing what's happening to a Pro Bowl safety and a quarterback who took his team to the Super Bowl, and barring a blackout, probably would have won that Super Bowl. Players they chose not to consult the union. So the players didn't get to say enough. Jed York is saying it, the union's saying it. But here's the new policy we're making for you about this issue that affects all of us. And I think a local guy here in Denver, Colorado had the right idea. He kind of backtracked a little bit on it today and wasn't so sure and convicted on it. But Darren McPhee, D-Mac of 104.3 The Fan, had a great idea in my mind. Continue the patriotism at NFL games. But here's how you do it. The same way college football does it. Players come out, they do their warm-ups, they get through their thing, they leave the field. You have the flyover, the pomp and circumstance, you have the celebration, the flag comes out, somebody sings the national anthem or plays it on an instrument, or an orchestra comes out. You do all of that, then you do the player introductions, wham, bam, game starts. Then you're not ostracizing players. You're not scapegoating players. You're not pinning it on guys. You're not making rules that are basically unconstitutional and saying you cannot express yourself. And this argument that, well, it's an employer and you have to follow the employer's rules. Well, guess what? The employer can't make rules that violate your rights. Period. That's not an excuse. That is not a rationalization. You can't normalize what's wrong that way. Art Rooney was quoted yesterday as saying that he thinks players raising fists or linking arms during the anthem would constitute disrespect. Now, Ed Bouchette reported today that that's not what he meant. He misunderstood the question and that he thinks linking arms would actually be a sign of unity. So take that for what it's worth. The Jets owner, Chris Johnson, said he will pay the fines any of his players get. Now, they're not fining the players. They would fine the club. But he's saying he will pay that. I have your back. We heard what Jed York said. He did not vote yes for this. Other people across different walks have come out from this. Steve Kerr, who has spoken about this a couple times now, he's been asked about it. He has no problem sharing his mind in a very, what I think, respectful way. And he makes some good points. He was also aware of the NBA's policy on the standing for the anthem and that players and coaches need to stand for it. We know that Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf back in 1996 was suspended because he chose not to stand for it. And there's many reasons why the NBA is different. And one that Steve Kerr does not bring up in the piece that you're getting ready to hear is the fact that they have guaranteed money. They're not worried if something's going to happen to them. Their money is their money. They signed the contract, and barring very few stipulations, that money is theirs. So they have the ability to go outside of the team, outside of that platform, and feel safe on social media or in public or in interviews in the locker room to say what they think and share that. And we have seen NBA players link arms. And we have seen NBA players on award shows take very political stances and not receive this same kind of backlash. And that is due to what you're going to hear Steve Kerr say, in part, when he was asked about this topic.
Reaction to the anthem?
I think it's just typical of the NFL. They're just playing to their fan base, and they're just basically trying to use the anthem as fake patriotism, nationalism, scaring people. It's idiotic, but that's how the NFL has handled their business. And I'm proud to be in a league that understands patriotism in America is about free speech, about peacefully protesting. And I think our leadership in the NBA understands that when the NFL players were kneeling, they were kneeling to protest police brutality, to protest racial inequality. They weren't disrespecting the flag or the military, but our president decided to make it about that. The NFL followed suit, pandered to their fan base, created this hysteria. This is kind of what's wrong with our country right now. Is people in high places are trying to divide us, divide loyalties, make this about the flag, as if the flag is something other than what it really is. It's a representation of what we're about, which is diversity, peaceful protests, and right to free speech. So it's really ironic, actually, what the NFL do.
Speaking of that irony, see, what do you make of just the NBA? I mean, there was more of a formalized policy with the anthem, but there seems to be more of an outlet that they promote for guys to be open about
the NBA
with issues.
Adam and leagues, leadership, we feel like we're partners. Players, coaches, management, league management, we feel like we're all partners. And I'm really proud of our players around the league for really being community leaders, being outspoken for good, for the change that we need, whether it's, I know tonight.
So again, that was Steve Kerr. That sound is via Bleacher Report, as they were at shoot-around today, and he was getting ready to talk about shoot-around there. But he makes some excellent points. There is this divide in this country. I think I talked about this on the last show. We are so focused in on trying to point out what's different right now. We have become so divided due to what we are fed on the radio and through TV and magazines that we have been programmed basically to be divisive and to get angry and to hurl insults and not be able to understand and hear what somebody else is saying that might have a different viewpoint than us. We are divided. Just to this clip, people came out today and were having reactions like, you need to stick to basketball. What does he know about the NFL? Stay in your lane. All these kind of nonsense. Is he a citizen of this country? Right? That we're supposed to hold so dear. Everybody has these freedoms. But all we want to do is tell people, you can't say this if we don't like it. I'm going to be mad and hateful and violent if I don't like what you're saying. Because land of the free only means what I like and only means what I think. That is not how you have a healthy debate. That is not how you have a great country. And Steve Kerr hit a lot of points there. The NBA is more like a family. They are more together now than they ever have been. They are more connected from the players through the league and through the league offices. I'm not mad at him for speaking out. He has a platform. He knows his voice is going to be heard. He's brave enough and willing enough to go out there and say what he says and accept all the backlash he's going to get from people that just are only seeing it from their vantage point and refuse the idea that it can be seen any other way. Which is ridiculous, because this is a fact of a matter of fact of right and wrong. Again, I'm going to continue to say that. Black people in this country have the same rights, deserve the same respect without the backlash for living their lives or their skin color. Mexicans, Portuguese, Asians, Irish, Spanish, German. Pick your culture, pick your person. This is supposed to be the place you can come to better your life. This is supposed to be the place that everybody thinks of as, in America, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. This was the place we've always been told everybody wants to be. It's the shining star. And we welcome you with open arms. That's who we are. We love diversity. That message is gone. We are divided. And people in high places are responsible for that as much as we are, because we fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker, we have fell for it. Donald Trump says, you have to stand proudly for the national anthem. You shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't be there. Maybe they shouldn't be in the country. The NFL owners did the right thing. Let me tell you something. My grandfathers were in the military. My uncle was high-ranking Air Force officer. I was raised to understand what it meant to be patriotic and respect all of the flag and the military. But here's the difference, what I understand now. Respect is for a person, not an occupation. There's a lot of people in the military that are racist, horrible, abusive, misogynistic, bigoted, just bad people. They don't deserve your respect. Not because of their occupation. If you want to tell them thank you because they were in a gun battle and put their lives on the line to protect the freedoms, okay, I get that. I'm on board with that. Thank you for what you did. But respect is for the person, not an occupation. Just like when it comes to the police. Now I'm having a harder and harder time delineating between good people that may be cops and cops who don't do what's right and turn into bad cops because they're scared what might happen. That delineation is becoming a lot harder as we get exposure to a lot more of the atrocities that are happening day to day. Mike Pence, he wrote, winning. Who is he? Charlie Sheen now? Was that his tagline that he's now taking from somebody else? Like Donald Trump has plagiarized and Melania's speeches have been plagiarized. Now he's taking a tagline from somebody else too. I mean, just ridiculous. They clearly don't get it. They're clearly not about everybody in this country. They're about their views and their people and anybody who wants to ride along with them. Jim Trotter, he wrote out, while adamantly a small sample size, some players are telling me they're considering staying in the locker room or making a different on-field gesture simply because they feel this new policy is a direct challenge to them. Before today, they hadn't thought about demonstrating in the 2018 season. They're taking it as a challenge. You're showing us that we need to be unified against you. Not that we're all unified. We're all on the same page. We all want this to get better. You're showing us we need to take a stand. And I hope they do. I really do. I hope whole teams decide to stay in during the national anthem. I hope players come out and kneel or raise a fist, because it is not about disrespecting the military. It is not about disrespecting the flag. They're not the ones holding it horizontally, which is against the flag code, which says this is a way you're disrespecting the flag. They are doing their right. The rights that are protected in a peaceful way. They are showing a demonstration at a time that they know will cause people to talk about this topic and hopefully get to a point where they're going to then do something about it. We haven't gotten there yet. We want to stay divided and pick sides on everything. We want to be conservatives. We want to be liberals. We want to be Republicans. We want to be Democrats. Guess what, everybody? You're people first. Before you label yourself with all these labels that are helping us stay divided, remember, you're people first. Dwayne Smoot, NFL player, tweets out, freedom of speech does not exist for NFL players now. We get fined for protesting for something we believe in. He says, fine me. You can't change my opinion and can't stop my protest. I have a right as an American to protest when I feel there is an injustice in this country. Yes, Dwayne Smoot, you do. I respect you, sir. Do your thing. Pro Football Talk put out an article. Chiefs won't say whether they'll discourage fans from shouting Chiefs over the final word of the national anthem, but kneeling quietly during the song, because you have a problem with police brutality and social injustice is a problem. Not the fact that then somebody else is chanting their team's name as a stadium, as 70,000 strong, over the last word. Instead of home of the brave, it's home of the Chiefs. Nobody's got a problem with that, though. Sports Illustrated. Connor Orr wrote an article and talked about, will the newly vigilant NFL police all the flag code violations at games, from novelty banners to stars and striped bandanas to the massive horizontal flag displays. Now think about it. It's going to be on probably beer cups during the season. It's going to be on jerseys during the season. It's going to be horizontally displayed on the field during the season. There are going to be bandanas. There are going to be novelty banners. So if you're not going to allow one area of disrespect, why are you going to then allow all the other areas of disrespect to the flag? Because it's hypocritical. Because you gave into the fear of the president. Because you gave into the fear of the minority part of your fan base. Because you don't want to lose money. You don't want to lose sponsorship money, more importantly, from the rich bigots and fearmongers that are out there. Racists. Because they're there. They're not all that way, but they're there. And I guarantee some of them are sponsors. You've chosen money over right and wrong. You've chosen money over people. You've chosen money over country. Period. Dan Graziano reported about Malcolm Jenkins, and Malcolm Jenkins obviously reported about himself as well. The fight continues. What NFL owners did today was thwart the players' constitutional rights to express themselves and use our platform to draw attention to social injustices like racial inequality in our country. Everyone loses when voices get stifled. While I disagree with the decision, I will not let it silence me or stop me from fighting. The national conversation around race in America that NFL players forced over the past 2 years will persist as we continue to use our voices, our time, and our money to create a more fair and just criminal justice system, end police brutality, and foster better educational and economic opportunities for communities of color and those struggling in this country. For me, this has never been about taking a knee, raising a fist, or anyone's patriotism, but doing what we can to effect real change for real people. Hashtag the fight continues. Malcolm Jenkins, sir, I respect you. I am with you. Well said. His teammate, Chris Long. This is fear of diminished bottom line. It's also fear of a president turning his base against a corporation. This is not patriotism. Don't get it confused. These owners don't love America more than the players demonstrating and taking real action to improve it. It also lets you, the fan, know where your league stands. I will continue to be committed to effecting change with my platform. I'm someone who's always looked at the anthem as a declaration of ideals, including the right to peaceful protest. Our league continues to fall short on this issue. Chris Long, I respect you. I chose people today not because of the side of the debate they are on, although I am on their side. I chose the people that I had you listen to or the quotes that I read you today because of the passion, because of the respectfulness, because of the eloquency of the way they were able to word this situation, because it helped me calm myself down from how it made me feel. And again, yes, I am a white man in America. But this is an issue facing all of us, and it saddens me that we rather be divided than come together to make us all better. The NFL owners and their anthem policy failed. We will hope moving forward there will be changes that are positive, that are better, that make us all better and safer. Until then, I too kneel. Now, for some of you, I know you just tuned out, you stopped listening earlier. I'm sorry you disagree with that. I'm sorry you choosing to see it from one way. I want the best for everybody, no matter if I agree or like what you're doing or what you're into or how you think. Because if I know how you think, you can do your thing, I can do my thing. We don't have to interact. That's the beauty of what a free country should be. We've forgotten that. It'd be nice to get it back. Now, for those of you still listening or got this far in the show, let's go to the NHL Finals, shall we? Because this, hey, as a casual fan, I am going to be turning into this Finals. I don't know if I'll be able to watch every game, but I'm definitely going to be tuning in, that's for sure. Now, this series starts on Monday. It starts on Memorial Day. It's going to be a great game for the vets to watch. They could tune in and see the expansion Vegas Golden Knights, #1 out of the Pacific Division, take on the Washington Capitals, #1 out of the Metro Division. Alex Ovechkin finally gets to the finals. The Capitals finally don't choke somewhere along the playoffs when they have one of the better, if not the best team. And think about it, they almost did. They won the first 2 in Tampa. Then lose 3 straight. It comes to an elimination game. They win that one. Now here, another elimination game. They get that one. Ovechkin is magic with the puck. One of the best hockey players in the league that I know of. Maybe in the world that I know of. And again, casual fan, take it for what it's worth. But I am looking forward to this series. The stories that are going to come out of this, the stories with the Capitals being in Washington, with the Golden Knights being in Vegas, with the expansion team, the sports betting. Will Ovechkin get one? Can the Capitals get over the hill? The magical Disney-esque run of the Vegas Golden Knights. Game 1 Monday, Game 2 Wednesday, Game 3 Saturday, Game 4 next Monday. 28th, 30th, 2nd, 4th, 7th, 10th, 13th. At that point, we're only going to be what? Maybe 1 or 2 games into the NBA Finals. So, tune in. This is going to be a great series. I don't know if it goes 7. I honestly don't know who to pick in this one. The Golden Knights had more points on the regular season. They're having the more magical run. Part of me wants to say that this is where it ends. Part of me is saying they're going to take it all and it's going to be this special season. I'm going to tune in. We'll talk about it throughout. I don't know what else to say. Let's move on to the NBA playoffs before we run out of time here on the show. NBA playoffs, you got Golden State taking on Houston tonight in Game 5. That's 5 Mountain Time, 9 Eastern, and 6 Pacific. That should be a good game. I expect Golden State to bounce back. It could be another close one because Houston has kind of figured out how to play Golden State, I think. Boston is currently up 3-2 on Cleveland, going back to Cleveland for an elimination game. I don't know what to say about this series. I'm sick of the lack of offensive rebounding. I'm sick of the lack of attempting to even get an offensive rebound. Now, maybe that's connected to the idea that we're either going to the hole or shooting a 3. And both of those scenarios, you want guys back because they can lead to fast breaks. But they said last night on the broadcast, I don't remember which one of the newscasters or the sportscasters it was, but only 20 or 22% of the rebounds this year were offensive rebounds. There's no second shots. People are throwing it up and nobody's there at all. And it's just like you get into this pattern and all of a sudden you're trying to play catch up and you're shooting threes, which Cleveland fell in love with the 3 in the third quarter and could not make one. And they went from a situation where they could be 6 down, missed 2 free throws by Larry Nance, to being, completely out of the game within a few minutes based on the shot selection of the current NBA team. And it was so hard to watch because not only that, but the refereeing was horrible last night. I mean, guys were getting whacked, no fouls. Guys were getting barely touched, fouls. All kinds of things against the Celtics, against the Cavs that just weren't being called. And then some things that were. And it's like, come on. We've heard of home court refs, but this last night was ridiculous. So Game 6 is Friday night in Cleveland. The way this one is gone, blowout. You can expect Cleveland to blow out the Celtics on Friday, go into Sunday, Game 7, and we'll see if LeBron can have some kind of superhuman effort to get this Cavaliers team into the finals. The Celtics clearly are more of a team, but we'll see what happens come Friday and Sunday night. That's it, y'all. I know this was a serious show. Next time we'll talk more about sports. Until next time, you know how we do. Just be real.
I've been through it, I'm proving that I'm battle tested. Since adolescence, you witnessing what is manifested. This alliance, a combination of rhyme and shines. Rocking our hypothesis, actualizing the highest science. Table of elements occupying my molecules. High off the chronic, we're harmonizing my chronicles. Running shit since Kid and Play did the running man. Black man scramble on land like Randall Cunningham. From the jump in the introduction was so impressive. Flow aggressive, but always calm, cool, collected. Hater proof, can't extinguish when I blaze the boot. Far sharp as razor edge claws on the saber tooth. Save the youth like a dedicated educator. Rising to the top and I ain't even take the escalator. Never in the dark when you got the light to shine through it. Take the beat and fine tune it when we put the rhyme to it. That's right. Yo. This rap is pathetic, embarrassing. Niggas is effortless, I'm ruffling feathers. Cause I'm spitting better than any dude in the new era. Incredible rhymes, spitting articulate. Sauce dripping thick with the splash etiquette. I'm way better than niggas wish they could ever get. At this point in time, I felt it was evident. The most clever with words ever for lyrics. I'm setting the precedent. It's clearly a different level. When Kellen spit the most benevolent. 90% intelligence, 10 is eloquence. Rhyming is a science, I'm just combining the elements. My literary endeavors deserve the highest merits. When it comes to writing, there's no inerrant, there's no comparisons. All these rappers that feel disparaged, it's apparent that the gap in town is pretty glaring. Just check the narrative. Yeah, and there it is.